Once upon a time, in the days when the earth was filled with great wonders and deep mysteries, there lived a man named Enoch, a righteous man who walked faithfully with God. He was the son of Jared, the grandson of Mahalalel, and a descendant of Adam himself. Enoch's life was marked by devotion and righteousness, and he was known for his wisdom and faithfulness. But beyond what men could see, there was a hidden realm, heavenly beings and celestial secrets that only the Lord of Spirits knew. One night, as Enoch was peacefully asleep, two awe-inspiring beings suddenly appeared beside his bed. Their radiance was brighter than the sun, their faces shining with divine majesty. Their eyes blazed like fiery torches, and flames flickered from their mouths as their shimmering robes glistened like feathered wings. Their arms extended with golden wings that glowed with divine light. These angels hovered near him, gently calling his name. Enoch, surprised and alarmed, awoke from his sleep. Sensing his fear, the angels spoke softly and reassuringly. They said, "Fear not, Enoch, for the Eternal One has sent us to you. Today, you will rise with us into the heavenly realms." With gentle strength, they lifted him from his bed and placed him upon their radiant chariots. Swift as the wind, they ascended beyond the earth, carried on clouds and light. As they soared higher and higher, they passed through the layers of the atmosphere, beyond the earthly skies, into the very threshold of the heavens. Their journey took them past the first heaven, the divine realm where sacred mysteries unfold. Before Enoch's eyes, the heavens opened, revealing secrets of both human and divine worlds. In that wondrous place, Enoch saw things beyond ordinary understanding. He witnessed the time when angels, the celestial watchers, chose to abandon their holy dwelling. These mighty beings, created to serve the Lord in righteousness, became entranced by the daughters of men. As humanity multiplied and filled the land, the angels looked upon the beautiful daughters of men and whispered among themselves, "Let us take wives from among the daughters of men and father children with them," they said. Their leader, Semjaza, hesitated and questioned, "What if we abandon this plan? I alone will suffer the consequences if we do this." But the others answered, "No, we will all swear an oath to bind ourselves to this purpose. We will not turn back." And so, with a solemn vow, 200 angels descended upon Mount Hermon, swearing to fulfill their purpose. Semjaza led the rebellion, and the rest followed, each choosing a mortal woman and entering into forbidden unions. These fallen angels taught humanity forbidden knowledge. They showed them how to forge weapons from metals. Azul, the chief among them, revealed to humans how to manipulate metals and craft swords, shields, and ornaments. They taught the secrets of jewelry, the use of precious stones, and the hidden arts of charms and spells. From these teachings, wickedness spread across the land. From the union of angels and women, giants were born, beings of enormous size and strength. These giants devoured resources, ravaged the earth, and turned their hunger into violence. They consumed humans, animals, birds, reptiles, and fish. They committed unspeakable sins, violating every creature and polluting the earth with blood and destruction. The earth itself cried out in agony, condemning their lawless deeds. The fallen angels, led by Semjaza, shared their forbidden knowledge with humanity. Ozul showed how to manipulate metals and craft weapons. Barakal uncovered the secrets of the stars and the heavens. Ezekiel revealed the movements of constellations. Riel taught the signs of the earth. Shamal explained the course of the sun, and Sail the path of the moon. Humanity, corrupted by these teachings, fell deeper into sin, forsaking righteousness and turning their hearts from God. The angels, seeing the suffering and chaos, brought their cries before the Lord of Spirits. The holy angels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, looked down with sorrow. Rivers of blood flowed, and lawlessness reigned. The earth was filled with pain and tears, and the spirits of the dead cried out for justice. The Lord of Spirits heard their prayers. From his throne of glory, he addressed the angels, declaring that the deeds of the fallen watchers would not go unpunished. He spoke with authority, revealing the fate of these rebellious beings. First, he sent Uriel to warn Noah. True righteousness still existed among humans. He commanded Noah to seek refuge, to hide himself from the coming flood of divine judgment. For a great cleansing was near, a flood so vast that it would sweep away all corruption and evil. Next, the Lord commanded Raphael to bind Ozul, the chief of the fallen angels, and cast him into the darkness of the desert called Dudale. There, in a deep pit, Ozul was to be imprisoned until the final day of judgment, when he would be cast into eternal fire. The Lord also decreed that other fallen angels, who had defiled themselves with mortal women, would be bound and held in chains for 70 generations, until the day of reckoning, when they would be cast into the eternal abyss. Gabriel was commanded to go forth and confront the offspring of the fallen angels, those unholy giants and their spawn, and destroy them in battle. Their days were numbered, and they would perish by their own wickedness, turning against each other in chaos. The Lord declared that their unnatural progeny would be wiped out, and no plea for mercy would be accepted. Michael was tasked with binding Semjaza and his companions, the fallen angels who betrayed their divine calling. They would be imprisoned in chains, waiting for the final judgment, where they would be cast into the furnace of fire, forever condemned. The Lord then decreed that the spirits of the giants, corrupted and rebellious, would become evil spirits upon the earth. These spirits would torment humanity, causing suffering and chaos. They would be born from the mixture of heavenly and mortal flesh and would seek to deceive and oppress mankind until the day of final justice. The Lord of Spirits declared that the angels who had descended to earth and revealed forbidden secrets would be judged forever. Their rebellion had brought destruction and corruption, and they would never again ascend to the divine realm. Their names would be cursed among the righteous, and they would be a warning for generations to come. Enoch saw the results of divine justice unfolding. The rebellious stars, those who defied God's authority, were bound in the abyss, burning with fire. The spirits of the giants roamed the earth, causing pain and destruction, but their time was limited. The wicked kings and rulers, who had led others astray, were chained and cast into fiery prisons, their influence forever broken. He saw the Lord of Spirits, seated upon his throne, surrounded by countless angels and holy beings. The righteous and the elect stood before him, their faces shining with the light of righteousness. The Lord's glory illuminated the entire cosmos, and his justice was perfect and unwavering. Enoch was shown the great judgment day, the day when the Lord would descend with thousands of his holy ones to execute divine justice. The earth would shake, mountains would tremble, and the wicked would be cast into the fiery abyss. The righteous, however, would inherit eternal life, dwelling in the presence of the Lord forever. The Lord declared that on that day, the heavens and the earth would be renewed. The earth would be restored to its original beauty, filled with trees that bore fruit in abundance and fields overflowing with blessings. The curse of sin would be removed, and righteousness would reign eternally. Enoch saw a future where the righteous would walk in everlasting peace and joy, free from fear and suffering. Wisdom and knowledge would fill their hearts, guiding them in righteousness. The glory of the Lord would be upon them, and they would praise his name forever. He also saw the divine plan of the Son of Man, a figure of perfect righteousness, chosen before the foundation of the world, who would come to support the righteous and judge the wicked. This Son of Man would be given a name that is above all names, and his reign would be eternal. As Enoch continued to witness divine visions, he saw the treasures of heaven, mountains of gold, silver, and precious metals, serving the reign of the Lord's anointed. These riches would melt away before his presence, losing their power and becoming insignificant in the face of divine glory. He saw the final judgment of the rebellious kings and mighty ones, their chains forged of iron and bronze, cast into the fiery abyss. The waters above and below the earth would rise and flood everything, cleansing the world of its corruption. The Lord of Spirits would make a covenant of peace with his people, setting a sign in the heavens, a promise that never again would he bring such devastation. Enoch saw the angels of punishment preparing instruments of destruction, scourges and chains, ready to execute divine justice on the wicked. The rebellious kings and rulers would face eternal condemnation, their influence and power broken forever. They would be cast into the abyss, where darkness and fire await. Throughout his visions, Enoch saw the ordered movements of the celestial bodies, stars, the sun, the moon, and understood how these signs point to the divine purpose. The heavens declare the glory of God, and all creation bears witness to his sovereignty. Finally, the Lord of Spirits revealed that the day of judgment would come swiftly and surely. Every secret deed, every unjust act, every rebellious thought would be laid bare before his throne. The righteous would be rewarded, and the wicked would be cast away into eternal darkness. Enoch, overwhelmed by these visions, fell to his face in awe and worship. He praised the Lord of Spirits, acknowledging his justice, mercy, and eternal reign. The angels of heaven stood around, praising God with voices that echoed through the cosmos. He was given a divine charge to proclaim these truths to the people of the earth, to warn them of the coming judgment and to encourage them to seek righteousness. For the Lord desires that all should turn from their sins and walk in his ways. And so, dear friends, this is the story of the great visions of Enoch, the account of heavenly rebellions, divine justice, and the promise of redemption. It reminds us that God's justice is perfect, his mercy is boundless, and his plans for his creation are everlasting. Let us remember that the choices we make today have eternal consequences. Let us walk in righteousness, seek his truth, and trust in his divine mercy. For he is the Lord of Spirits, the eternal King, who reigns forever. If this story has touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Share this message with your family and friends so they too can understand the profound truths hidden in the Scriptures. Together, let us deepen our faith and walk in the light of God's eternal love. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the mysteries of heaven and earth. May God's peace be with you always.